What's going on, everybody? It is Sunday, June 21st, 3 p.m. here in Guttenberg, Iowa, coming to you from the second floor. Still here with the low, not the ceilings aren't low, they're pitched. But that's where I am here, coming to you from my mobile data off my iPhone. So that way we can hopefully have a smoother stream. It is Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and especially to all the other father figures as well. Happy Father's Day. Hope you guys are having a good day. Jeffy Elliott says Happy Father's Day. Noi Yebra says hi. JC says hey everybody. Mark Rainey says still waiting on Foozy Koozies. Should be fun. I'm sorry about that. I am going to get them sent out. I've been waiting on. I signed up with Pitney Bowes. They do a lot of officey stuff to send me like the digital scale mailer thing, so that way I wouldn't have to like go into a post office, so I could do like the digital weigh the postage and have it print out automatically and do all that stuff. But it's taking forever to get here. I'm not sure what's happening. I think I'm just gonna have to like go to the post office. I'll wear a mask, and I think I'll be good. But I got to get those out there. Um, my mom's here. She says Happy Father's Day from New Jersey. Awesome. Thanks, Mom. Catherine AM says, hey from Montreal. Happy Father's Day. Bert Legas is in Belgium. It was previous Sunday. Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't think that like it would be the same Father's Day everywhere in the world, but it's interesting that it was like just a week ago. Mark Tan Coco says, what's up? What's up? Stevie76 says, yo, what's going on? Ines Dunbar says, hi, Kofuzi and everybody. Ines Dunbar and I have been like running buddies lately, apparently, the past couple of weeks. Last week, we were within like half a mile of each other, running 80 something miles, like 83 miles each. And then this week, we both ran 100 miles for the week. So very coincidental. I, however, unlike Ines has a wonderful actual running buddy, his dog that he runs with. I don't have a dog to run with. I really out wish I had a dog with to run with. But Ines, did your dog run 100 miles this week? That's what Matt B says, talking about koozies, is make sure you get the skinny cans also. I think they would fit a skinny can, but it would be a little bit big. But Matt B says it's because I love White Claws. That's funny. David H says, yo, happy Father's Day from Los Angeles. Awesome. Very cool. Hope you guys are doing all right out there. Steve says, happy Papa's Day. Very cool. Very cool. Gavin Braden says, happy Father's Day to all from Belfast. Well, awesome. Jeff Elliott says, I got mine. Yes, I did send some out because I was able to stick them like in an envelope and I thought like a regular stamp would cover it. So I just put a stamp on it and sent some out that way. So I'm trying to get them out. We'll see. I'll do better. I'll do better. Lewis Cameron says, hey, Co, happy Father's Day, watching with a 2-year-old son. Well, that's cool. And hope your son is having a good Father's Day as well. So one of the things is, right, there's like two approaches to Father's Day, right? Some fathers want to like leave and like have like and other fathers go the other way where they want to spend it with family. I'm kind of more of I'm like, I wouldn't mind like a minute to take a nap. So I did take a very short, like a power nap, like 15 minutes earlier today. Um, and then we were all going to go for a car ride. My wife's kind of should be on the way back now, um, a car ride to go get groceries. But my daughter didn't want to go, but the baby did. And then I ended up staying here with my daughter, and my daughter's downstairs just hanging out. Um, and I actually think she's making a treasure map for a Father's Day scavenger hunt later. That's what she's doing now. Because every time I look over at her, she's like, "Don't look at what I'm doing." So I think that's what she's making now. And then the baby is with my wife. Now, we had already gone to get groceries yesterday, or my wife went to get groceries yesterday. There's a grocery store around here. It's kind of far. It's 40 miles away that lets you order online. And then when you get there, you tell them you're there and they just put all your groceries in the trunk. And then you don't have to like interact with anyone. So we did that. And then yesterday we did it. And then there's an option for like substitutions. If like what you're looking for isn't available, they'll substitute it with like the next best thing. Or you can say no substitutions. And my wife has been reading that, like for some of the allergy parents that are out there or allergy families, the substitutions have been iffy. All right. Am I live again? It said I'm live. I don't think I'm live. Hmm. Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm back. All right. So, yeah. So, an MJM asked, was it high V? Yes, it's high V. And so we ended up not getting eggs and whipped cream because my wife bought strawberries and whipped cream for a dessert because she was gonna make a cake today. So she went again today, and I was thinking we would all go together. We would be like a little family car trip, but the girls wanted to split up. So, um, most of the morning, we spent together, and then the last couple hours we've been apart. But we'll circle back at dinner time and at cake time for today. So hopefully you guys are having good Father's Day too. That was a really long story for very little payback. Sorry, but I say payback, payoff. So sorry about that. But thank you for humoring me. Um, Shannon says, "Happy Father's Day, Kofuzi. Please make Kofuzi non-elite singlets. I will buy in multiple colors." We'll think about it. I mean, I'm thinking about trying to figure out ways. I mean, we've seen how well like the rollout for the koozies went. The koozies are fine. I'm just having a hard time shipping them out because shipping things is hard for me right now. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. The suggestion is well taken. Um, Whoa, and his number says that his dog Pip ran 100 miles easily. Whoa, that's crazy. Today I got chased by a dog. It was a very old dog and a very fluffy, white, friendly looking dog, like the kind of dog that I think would have given me a lot of hugs. But it was really funny because I was running past a farm that I'd run past a couple times before. But I didn't realize, and I only saw them for the first time today, that that farm has a pony and goats. And so the ponies and the goats were all hanging out, and I startled them as I started running up this hill, and they all started running away. And then we ended up running like at the same pace. So it was really cool. And then as I was leaving, I heard someone yelling behind me. So I thought maybe like the farmer was angry that I like spooked his goats or something. I'm a little bit on edge when I'm out here at times. But then I turn around and he's trying to call his dog back, and he's got this really old dog that's trying to follow me, and then the dog's not barking at me, but like I think kind of like half-heartedly, like out of breath, barking at me. And I think the dog just wanted to say hi because the dog made two attempts. He tried to come after me for a little bit, and then kind of like walked after a little while, and then I heard him behind me again a little bit later on, and he was still trying to come and say hi, and he just had this big old grin, tongue wagging, and it was really funny. But yeah, I would love to be able to run with a dog. I saw a picture on Ryan Doozer's Instagram of that dog, Mira, that dog that he met, a dog and an owner that he met while he was bicycling down the Baja Peninsula, and that dog goes on biking like massive biking excursions. Sometimes the dog goes in, sits in a little crate behind the bike. Sometimes the dog runs along. I just think that's a really fun way to have an adventure. And some ways, I think that I would prefer having a dog as a long adventure companion as another human being. Although having another human being would be good to help me with things like counting, navigation, counting in terms of counting miles or how long it's been since we've last stopped for water, that kind of thing. Because I tend to mess those kinds of things up. But I think having a dog would be a great travel companion. Um, let's see. We had another message from Martha I wanted to get to. Uh, Martha said, "Happy Father's Day. I hope the scavenger hunt leads to some new shoes." I don't think it will. Most of the time, the scavenger hunt just leads to more clues, and then at the end, there's like there's usually like a card. They like they love making the scavenger hunt. Both my daughters do, but there's never like a prize at the end. It's just, all right, that was the last clue. You did it, until it kind of ends. But it's so much fun to go on them. So I love it. Joshua Mowdy says, got my Adidas Ultra Boost 19s yesterday. Amazing. Very cool. I'm glad you like them. Bert, like I said, he did less miles this week, but more speed work. 70K instead of 90, but included a tempo run and a threshold run. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the right way to do it. Like higher mileage, um, less intensity. When you're coming to lower mileage is good for a cutback week, which next week will probably be a cutback week of a bit for me. And then, or do a cutback mileage and then do a higher intensity. Very nice. Um, Gavin says, if my girls say don't look at what they're doing, either something is broken or needs cleaned up. That happens around here too. Motivation Theory Running Series says, hey man, what's up everyone? Very cool to see you. Thanks for coming in. McNee says, how are you doing today, sir? I say hello. Um, Shannon says, holy cow, my dad has a country home in Jerseyville, Illinois, which is 50 miles from my house in St. Louis. 40 miles to the grocery store is, well, yeah, I mean, there's a grocery store right down the street. I think it's called Bender Foods. It's like a mile from here. I could walk to it. But like they don't have like the option to like order groceries online or have someone come out and do it. And then even in the town near where my in-laws live, there's a grocery store where my nephew works as a bagger. Um, and what is it called? Fairway. It's amazing. So that grocery store, they have not only like the regular cashiers and the baggers, but the baggers also will walk the groceries out to your car and put it into your car for you. It's like a service that they always do, and they're never open on Sundays. So it's like a time machine going into that store. It's incredible. But he said he's been really busy. He's working tons of shifts and stuff like that. Kevin Scott says, any plans to expand Java Lives merch? Funny story and awesome looking brand logo. Get that copyrighted and registered. Yeah, I mean, I think I probably maybe I do need to get it registered, but I mean, it's already copyrighted. It's on something. So I mean, I think that qualifies automatically as copyright. You don't have to do anything formal to copyright something, but I maybe do need to get that registered. It's an interesting idea. I do kind of like it, but I'm also using the name Jabba from something else that's a copyrighted work. So like, just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'll keep the rap, but maybe not. We'll just call him Jabba, but I maybe not will not use the name. Um, uh, let's see. Um, Mr. Random says, "Hello, team. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies and mums who have had to double up. Awesome." Um, In his Dunbar says, "Dogs are the best running buddies. They're always ready and don't talk." I mean, I think that's like, I mean, I miss my running buddy. My running buddy texted me the other day and was like, "Hey, the lakefront's opening up. Let's go for a run." Um, and I told him that we had not moved, but like headed out to Iowa for some fresh air. And he didn't know if we were back yet. And I was like, "No, we're probably not gonna be back for a little while." So I do miss him. But I mean, having like, I just think that there would be a nice. I think it'd be very relaxing to run with a dog. I think I would like that. But that being said, I've told my wife many times, and I mean it very seriously. Like my dog's old. He's gonna be 12 in August. Um, and he's a breed that doesn't they think the average age is about 10 or 11. So I mean he's a mix. So like he should hopefully live a little bit longer. But I've been very clear that like dogs are great. Love dogs. I think I'm not the best pet owner, so I don't think it's for me. So I think that's going to be it. And my daughter's allergic to dogs, which we didn't find out until, a little while ago. So probably no more pets for us. Um, Vessel, oh, it's starting to rain really hard right now. It's coming down. Vessel Nikolaenko says, hello, Kofuzi. What shoe would you consider for 200, 400, 1,000 intervals on the road? I'm thinking of Turbo 2, Run Fast 2, SL20, Hyperion Tempo, etc. Which one will you choose if money is not a problem? I think the money is not an issue. I would say go with the Meta Racer. That's a shoe that I really like. I also would like the Zoom Streak 7 for that. I think the SL20 would be a good one. I might go pick the Adios 5 over the SL20 for the 200 and 400 and even 1,000 intervals. So those are kind of like three that I would put up there. I know it's raining hard, huh? Um, I think that like in terms of the other like super shoes that are out there, oh, I think the Speed Elite from Skechers Performance would be a good option as well. Because it's very low to the ground. It's got a little bit of carbon in it, and it's got hyperburst, so it's like a good combo. The Hyperion Tempo, I think, would also be good just because it's still so light. So I think that would also work, but it probably wouldn't come to mind as my one of my first choices for like a workout of that kind. Um, let's see. Um, All right. Roadrunner Review says, finally reached my 2-mile goal, 2.4 miles, 93 degrees. Ooh, boy, that's hot. Good job. Recycle on Wednesday says, the animal shelter in my old town had a program for people to run with the dogs. See, that's what I need. My motivation for running was I wanted to be fit enough to do it. All right, guys, I'm trying again. Sorry about all the technical difficulties. I'm bouncing back and forth. Every time like the connection goes out, I bounce back and forth between the Wi-Fi and data. Um, so let's see. Steve Arnberg. Let's get to Shannon's comment first. I was talking about Shannon's. I don't think anyone hears me right now. What's going on, Zoe? Uh-huh. Yeah, they sure are. Right. Okay, I think we're back. So I keep bouncing back and forth between data and Wi-Fi. Hopefully one of these will work. Sorry about it. Um, so she got her hubs, a running shirt and virtual Father's Day medal. It ran together, and he hasn't run that long or far, 5K, in the 12 years we've been together. I think your stream has furthered him towards running. That's awesome. That's so cool. What a great gift. And I love it when like couples or families watch together. I don't know why, but that really makes me happy to know about that. So thank you for letting me know. That's so cool. Um, let's see. Steve Arnberg says, ever find it hard to slow your pace on the easy days? I set out to go slow, but don't stick with it. Tips? Steve, I would say that if that's your problem, or that's not a problem, but if that's your issue, I think that it means that your hard days aren't hard enough. So for me, when I look forward to days where I'm like, oh, today's a day where I'm not going to care if my miles are 8:30 miles, 9-minute miles, 9-minute 30 miles. I don't care because I just want to get some miles in, get the heart rate to a certain level, and just go out there, and the pace will be what it is. I look forward to like my slower days. And so I think that's kind of like how I see it. So it might be your body's way of telling you to maybe you're ready to increase some mileage, or maybe you're ready for some more intensity, if depending on when your next race might be, anything like that. So that might be a way to think of it is you're not if your slow days are too fast, you're I mean it, one of the things that I would think is that it means your body's ready to go faster on your fast days. Let's see, what else we got here? Uh, Mark Rainey says, Iowa rain may affect the internet too. I mean, it makes no sense, but I mean, who knows? I think part of what's affects cell service here. So when we came here, I have a Wi-Fi hub that I have as well. That Wi-Fi hub runs on the Sprint network, which is pretty much non-existent out here. Um, Most people out here have US Cellular. I think that's the strongest performer. My wife has Verizon. She gets almost no reception in Guttenberg, Iowa, and I have AT&T, and T, and I get some. And what makes it harder is the bluffs and some of the very steep hills. So you get lots of these peaks and valleys. And so the car that we have has satellite radio in it, and sometimes it goes out because of like the peaks and the valleys are steep enough to make that difference. And same thing happens with cell signal. And so I don't know that weather affects cell signal at all, but um, it seems to be right now. I mean, we're not hitting the internet really hard right now, so it shouldn't be that. So I'm not sure why. Um, but all right. So let's see. Someone to talk about Terrence Hui says we lost our dog last year. During the past few years, I always felt like I didn't want another dog, but I've since changed my stance on that. I would love to again sometimes. Yeah, I can see that happening too, and maybe that's why I keep like talking about it with my wife so much. Is like I know that later I might have nostalgia for it, but like I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'd never say never, but I will say that living in an apartment where you have to like go in the elevator and you don't have a backyard that you can just let the dog out in, feels selfish a lot. Um, then again, my dog doesn't really like, well, it's probably a reflection of where he's lived. My dog doesn't really like being outside. So yesterday, he actually, like, we went outside. Every night we've been going out after dinner, right around twilight. So I think, is that the right word for it? Twilight? That period in between like sunset and darkness, right? And that's when the lightning bugs are out. Do you guys call them lightning bugs or fireflies? I forget. My wife's only heard of one of those two terms, and she kept asking me why I was calling it. But I've used both of those terms before. But the girls have been catching lightning bugs or fireflies at night, and we were bringing the dog out too. And yesterday, the dog finally, like, I had him on his leash. We had one of those retractable leashes, and he finally like found a spot on the grass and just lay down. And I was like, at almost age 12, he's finally figured out how to relax in grass. But I guess he's always been a city dog, although he was born in Wisconsin. Um, but yeah, that's just my dog. So I don't know. Maybe I could see, like, in like another phase of my life, like if we lived somewhere like in more of like a ritual kind of situation where I lived somewhere near trails and I was out running like single track all the time, having a bigger dog to run with, kind of like Ennis Dunbar's dog. But my biggest concern about having a dog that could run 100 miles in a week is what happens when the dog doesn't get to run 100 miles in a week? Does the dog just go insane with like frustrated energy? Because that'd be my concern, especially having an apartment. So, but I'm sure Ennis Dunbar's dog probably fine. EL says, any tips for running in very hot and humid weather? There have been a lot of really hot days here in Toronto over the last few weeks. Great question. I would say make sure you're hydrating a lot more. Strip down the layers if you can. I mean, if you don't, if you have, I mean, I like, right, so if you can run like earlier in the day, that would also help as well. But the main thing I would do is just make sure that you are staying hydrated. Bring extra water, extra sugar too. If you're talking about like if you're eating gels, and keep in mind that it's going to slow you down. People say that like humidity is like poor man's altitude because it has an effect on your running, and I would agree with that. When it's very humid, it makes it harder to breathe and harder to perform. So something to keep in mind. But great question. Um, let's see. Uh, Dan Rodriguez says, difference between the New Balance 1080 and the 880. That's a great question. I just looked it up the other day because I was looking at a bunch of the 800 series shoes. And so the 80, all right, so great question. The difference between the New Balance 1080, most comfortable shoe, and then from New Balance, it's weird. Like, I think the way they describe it is the higher the first number or two digits, whether it's like from zero, I think 15 is the highest. So and I don't know that it goes lower than 6. So it's a weird scale. But like the 1080 has more technology and stuff in it than the 880. So like the 800 series is going to be always a little bit more stripped down than the 1080. The 880 is a max cushion shoe that's a little bit like less stuff in it than the 1080. And right now, from the looks of it, it looks like the 880 looks a lot like the 1080 version 9 or last year's 1080. So I don't know what the foam is, but last year's foam was just regular fresh foam in the 1080 version 9. The 1080 version 10 is fresh foam X, so that a little bit bouncier one. Ines says, Pip, his dog, ran on the beach this morning and he cycled and she got to run as usual and his legs got a rest and we were both happy. See, that's good. That's cool. So I'm envious. That sounds awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Joshua Mowdy says, for dogs, they look forward to the exercise and expect it from their pack leader to continue to provide daily activities. Yeah, so like in the wintertime, if I can't run with the dog, or if the dog, like, because if I'm run commuting and I don't get a chance to run with the dog, I think that the dog would get disappointed in me. Um, that'd be a concern of mine. Shannon says, a lot of 80-20 runners say 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes slower than race pace for easy runs. She ran a half yesterday, 2.5 to 3 minutes faster than easy, but based on heart rate, not what you think your easy should be. 9:15 is too fast for her. Yeah, my easy these days is anywhere between 8:30 and 9 minutes a mile. So that's like according to, like, I think where my heart rate is. If I'm closer to like 9 minutes a mile, that puts me somewhere at like under 140 beats per minute, which is kind of like square in Maffetone area. So I feel good at that, and it feels easy as well to me. So that's kind of like I like kind of 9 minute miles for my easy days these days. Um, let's see. Joshua Modi says New Balance or Hoka. He's never had a Hoka, but have had and enjoyed New Balance. I think they're both great. I think they're both had some really great options in the past couple of years. I don't know that I have a preference. I think I like what Hoka is doing as a brand more than I like than what New Balance is doing. I think New Balance also has a lot more of a variety of options for sprinters and short distance runners. So maybe not marathoners, but half marathoners or 10K runners, high school runners. So I think there's more options in that regard. And I also think they're killing it in terms of like casual running shoes or like gym treadmill type shoes or just running inspired casual shoes and then pure casual shoes as well. I'm not a huge New Balance casual shoes guy, but I know that like some people just absolutely love them and think they're fantastic. So they have a bit more breadth at New Balance than Hoka does. Kurt C is talking about the 880 versus the 1080. Says the 880 is heavier as well. He thinks. I think you're probably right on that one. Martha says, Kofuzi, I don't think the 880 is max cushion. The stack height is pretty moderate. Okay. And the 880 is Fresh Foam X for sure. Oh, interesting. Because it looks like the, I mean, to me, when I look at the new 880, because I was just looking at it the other day, it's exactly like the 1080 from last year to me. So, I mean, maybe that's where I'm getting that from. Jody Run says the 1080 has more stack height. I think I would believe that. Martha says the elevation she's at makes pacing for easy tricky. That makes sense because she's up really high. But I know from experience how it translates to sea level for her at races. That's cool. Very cool. I wish I had that kind of knowledge. Mark Chankogo says lots of celebrities are jumping on Hoka for casual too. I think that's interesting because I just don't like Hokas for casual wear. I feel like they're very I like that it's like flair for the running community, but I don't think of that. That doesn't translate very well for me for casual use. Who was I think was it Alexi Pappas that I saw rocking Bondi, like all white Bondi sixes at one point? I think that's what she was wearing at the Houston Marathon. She did like a live stream with Molly Huddle and Matt Chittum for a live podcast there at the expo. And I think she was wearing like all white Hokas. And I was like, all right, that's cool. But yeah. Mark says, I almost want the Clifton Edge for running and casual. I mean, is that like the Hoka version, or maybe like the 10.9 is like the Hoka version of people buying Vaporflies to wear to the mall, right? um, Shannon says she has a really low resting heart rate, so 140 doesn't feel easy for her. Didn't have a chest strap, but her race HR was 149 yesterday. 120 beats per minute is what feels easy for her. Cool. That's cool. That's awesome that you know like where your easy and your heart rate feels, and it's different from like and that it's different from like like the average person. It's interesting. Um, yeah, Vessel Nikolaenko says dad shoes is the fashion trend right now. Yeah. I mean, I think it's funny that dad shoes are a trend. Like I don't know how much of it a trend it still is, but to the extent that it may still be, I'm surprised that it's lasted this long. I really thought that would die off fast. But anyway, um, Cody Davis says, "Do you know of any insoles that just add a bit of cushion? I don't really need insoles for added support." Um, I'm not I'm not aware. Well, there's a whole bunch of them like on Instagram that they all look exactly the same. They're yellow on top and white on the bottom, and it looks like Boost. So there's a variety of providers that sell that if all you want is just some extra cushion. I don't know how good that would be for running because I've bought some of those and put them in my casual shoes, and I feel like there's a really strong pitch to it. So it would I think it would really affect the running dynamics of a shoe. If you just need something that's a little bit more cushion, I would go to a running store and see if they have them because they sell ones that are like have support. So like in the arch part, it's stiffer, but I think they also have variety of levels of there's flavors. So you can get one that's just like kind of like Ortholite or something like that in there too. So I think those are options. I'm just not familiar with any of the brands. Um, in his dumbbell says 120 beats per minute for an easy run for me as well. Whoa, wow, that's cool. 140 is a good paced run. Nice. Good job. You guys are amazing with your heart rates. Um, Shannon says husband has Hoka Bandais now, and they're the least traffic running shoes out there, in her opinion. Yeah, it's funny. When I was running in the Bandai sixes, I had the black and white pair, which I like because it matched up. Because I think Roadrunner Sports had sent me a pair of the Bandai sixes and the Clifton sixes at the same time, in the same black and white, and I liked that they kind of matched. And I thought that looked pretty good. But yeah, I don't think that they're pretty shoes at all. The only aesthetic I think that they fit in like from a casual's perspective is kind of like what came before dad shoes, which was like the big giant chunky shoes and like big baggy colorful clothes like that you would see. It was very popular in like K-pop kind of things or like Asian street culture, like those kinds of big chunky shoes. Like that's kind of what it reminds me of. I saw at the same time that I had the Bondi sixes that Hoka had sent some black on black ones to Stephanie Bruce, and she had a picture of them on, and she was like enjoying hers, but I'm like, those look very strange. Um, and so I don't know. I just don't think the Bondi Six is pure. I enjoy it purely from a utilitarian perspective. It's fun to run in, very cushioned, but like I agree with Shannon. I don't think that they're very pretty. Mark Shankoko says, any idea when the Rocket X is coming out? I don't know. Um, they're, they were on their website. I mean, I don't know if the listing is still on their website, but it was there for a while, but they were never shipping. And then I thought August was the date on that. I could be wrong. It might be later, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be July. Nelson Hung says Spenco has an insole that adds just a little cushion. Well, I've heard of Spenco before. Have I? I'm not sure. All right, Martha looked it up. Stack height for the New Balance 880 V10 is 28 in the heel and 18 in the forefoot. Oh, so that's not too high. That's like normal. Hmm. Gary Russell seconding the Spanko insoles though. He says he uses it and little cushion and no support. Nice. Vessel had Hoka Bandai's when he had knee pain and they helped a lot. However, put more pressure on the Achilles and calves. I could see that because like they're so mushy, you kind of get like stuck in it a little bit. That's where you really need the rocker on that shoe for sure. All right, Riley Bohr liking his ultras. Catherine saying, "Are you going to review some Solomon Rhodes series shoes?" I'm not sure. Um, none of them are really jumping out at me. Is there one, Catherine, that you are curious about or have interest in? Um, I've, I mean, I've only run in one other Solomon shoe, and it was a road shoe. All right, so here we go. So we'll see. Um, Catherine says the Sonic Accelerate 3 is something that she's curious about or maybe recommends. Um, so maybe I'll take a look at that. I'll keep it in mind. I will keep it in mind. Terrence Hui says the Solomon Sonic 3 Accelerate is getting good buzz. Gary also says, I love them. So, oh no, I think he's talking about the Reebok Float Right Energy. Um, yeah, those are two shoes that I will take a look at. The Sonic Accelerate 3 and then the Reebok Float Ride. I think some new Reeboks just dropped. So we'll see if that works out. But I'll take a look. Thank you for the suggestions. I think I probably need to. Key4 Vacation said the Rocket X did ship and they did multiple releases, but you had to log on in the morning to buy them. They're decent shoes, very similar to the Endorphin Pro. That's interesting because I haven't seen anything on Instagram. I haven't seen people like running in them. Cool though. And Martha says, did the dark pink slash red out of Zero Pros arrive yet? They have not arrived yet. Let me check on that. Shipping takes kind of like an extra day or two to get out here because we're a little bit more removed from a bigger city. So let me check in on that. I have to. I've been sending stuff to now my mother-in-law's house, so I'll check with her, see if that stuff arrived there yet. But I will looking forward to it. We'll see how they are. But thank you for the reminder. I need to check on that. I'm going to take a look right now at those Sonic 3 Accelerates and the Reebok Foot Rides. But I am going to end it here because we've been having so many technical difficulties. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I don't know if there is a solution other than like us getting out of this house, which hopefully will be sometime soon. Um, I'm not sure why we're not leaving yet. I mean, it's the boss's decision. So whenever she's ready, that's when we'll go. But we'll see. But that'll be it for today. I'll have a video tomorrow morning talking about the Atreyu shoes that I ran in, the black ones. And then we'll have another live stream tomorrow if you guys want to hang out tomorrow as well. We'll see if I can get something in for the mukbang. We'll see what I can get. It won't be running themed, whatever it is. It's going to be kind of like whatever is lying around. So we'll see. All right. Hope you guys have a good Father's Day, and hope you guys also stay safe out there on your runs. And I'll see you